Welcome to the Civil 20 TST Working Group of G20, where we are dedicated to promoting access to and use of technology, enhanced security, and improved transparency for advanced societal well-being. This year, we are proud to announce that Amma, Shri Mata Amritanandamayi Devi, is the chair of C20 India 2023, and we are excited to work under her leadership. In today's world, due to the advancement of technology, countries and communities are interconnected more than ever. Because of the increasing role technology has in our lives, it is crucial that we understand its impact on our societies. Our working group will explore the wide-ranging roles and influence of civil society organizations in promoting effective policymaking that leverages technology and strengthens security and transparency for the betterment of the world. We will focus on access and affordability of innovative technologies for social impact, with a special emphasis on vulnerable communities such as children, women, and the disabled. We aim to facilitate transparency through platforms for advocacy, comprehensive assessments, and implementation of regulatory measures. We will explore responsible use of the internet and media to ensure security and harmony for all. Our team will also explore the importance of integrating a compassion-driven outlook on technology-enabled innovation strategies. We are committed to addressing these issues by supporting long-term holistic solutions for building societies that are technology-empowered, secure, and held accountable by their transparency to their citizens. The insights from civil society organizations are vital for building technologies that enable automated decision-making and knowledge by supporting societal development based on equity and inclusivity. Join us in our efforts to promote access to technology, to enhance security, and to improve transparency for advancing the well-being of society. You are invited to participate in our webinars and policy workshops and share successful project examples with us. Together, we can make a positive impact on the world.
Thank you for the patience. Good afternoon, team. Good afternoon, everyone. Let's start the occasion. On behalf of Amrita, Vishwa, Vidyapeetham, and with the blessings of Amma, I take immense pleasure in welcoming the gathering. I'm also happy to welcome the experts of today's panel, Mr. PGS Dinesh Davidson, who is Assistant Vice President of JK FENA, India. Welcome, sir. Dr. P. Uma, founder of Unique Research and Consultancy Services and board member of SESI India. We welcome you, madam. And also Dr. Shivakumar, professor at Vellore University of Institute of Technology, Business School, India. We welcome you, sir. I'm also glad to welcome the moderators of the discussion, Dr. Radhakrishnan, who is an assistant professor at Amrita School of Business, Coimbatore. We welcome you, sir. And Dr. Shakti Nagaraj, who is an assistant professor at Amrita School of Business, Coimbatore campus. We welcome you, sir. I'm indeed pleased to welcome all the participants and the supporters of the C20. Thank you for being here. Before entering the session or discussion, I'd like to tell a few words about C20 Society. The Group of 20, or G20, is a premier forum for international economic cooperation. It plays an important role in shaping and strengthening global architecture and governance on all major international economic issues. C20 or Civil 20, Civil Society 20, is one of the working groups under G20. The main role of C20 is It provides a platform for civil society organizations worldwide to voice the people's aspirations with the world leaders in G20. On this occasion, we are happy and proud to share that Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham handles 5 themes under C20, namely Sustainable and Resilient Committees, Education and Digital Transformation, Integrated Holistic Health, Technology Security and Transparency, and lastly, Gender Equality and Disability. Thank you, team. Thank you. I once again welcome everyone for today's discussion on the topic Transformational Technologies for Agro-based Industries, a civil society perspective. Let's now begin the session. I now hand over the session to the moderator, Dr. Radhakrishnan.
Thank you, Ms. Dharani. We would like to start with the first speech for the day. I would like to welcome Mr. Dinesh to offer this lecture. I just want to start with the introduction here. Mr. Dinesh is a mechanical engineer by discipline, and he has completed his engineering from AC College of Engineering and Technology. He has done his PG diploma in HR management from IGNOU. He has over 33 years of industrial experience handling various assignments and responsibilities. Currently, he's heading JK Fenner Madurai. He's actively involved in various forums and currently holds chairmanship of the CII Madurai Zone, chairman of the Madurai Pudur Government ITI under PPP scheme. He's currently holding the chairmanship of the Chekanurani Government ITI under PPP scheme, and he's part of the governing council member of KLN College of Engineering, Madurai. He's currently working on implementing Industry 4.0 in manufacturing at the Fenner Madurai plant. And the team has been planning to implement sustainability-related initiatives such as carbon neutral processes and water neutral processes at the Fenner Madurai plant in the next 5 years. I welcome Mr. Dinesh to offer this lecture. The topic for the lecture is Implementing Sustainable Technology in Food Production. Thanks for being with us, sir. And I welcome you to offer this speech. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So good afternoon to all of you. Good afternoon to the experts who are joined in this program, the faculty of Amrita University and the students community, and ladies and gentlemen who have joined all over the world online. It is my privilege to be with you and share a few thoughts about this topic. And I am not an expert of this field, but sustainability is a very, very passionate word which it is applicable to all the citizens of this earth. So in that way, though I'm not an expert of this particular topic, I want to share a few thoughts as a responsible citizen of this earth. And I want to share you a few a presentation where you'll be able to appreciate why this is very important, the sustainability, implementing technologies in food production. Just a minute, I'll share the presentation. Is my presentation visible?
Oh, yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay. So the topic given to me was implementing sustainable technology for food production. And when I thought, what is this, why it is so important, then I got a data that 37% of global greenhouse gas emissions come from our food system, including how we grow our food. So we all know that the global warming is a big challenge, and the UN has started taking initiatives to control the global warming through various initiatives. So in that, we normally, as industrialists, I always thought that the industry is the more pollutant, which is creating this global warming. But it is a surprise to me that food production, 37% of global greenhouse gas emission comes from our food system, including how we grow the food. And today morning also, I had the opportunity to attend one of the water conclave in our Madurai city. There, people are sharing some statistics, why it is so relevant to India. See, agriculture uses a lot of water, you know, and agriculture for every individual, for the day-to-day needs, the corporation gives average 15 liters of water. And in an industry, 45 liters of water is used per person. But for food production, they say it is 3,000 liters per person. So it was very, very amazing to hear that statistics. And in India, one more statistic says that India has got only 4% of fresh water, and 16% of the population live in India. So there is a mismatch between the population size and the availability of fresh water. And 25% of the water is used in India. So India is going to have a big challenge in water management in the coming years. By 2035 and all, it is going to be a crisis. So it's the right time for India to take steps in managing the water properly. And my presentation will be taking you through some statistics as well as what are the actions we can take to overcome this crisis. As I told you, the Sustainable Development Goals, there are 17 goals which are framed by the UN in the year 2016, and it has a timeline up to 2030. In that, if you see, it starts with no poverty, zero hunger, good health, like that. So many area of focus is there. In that, if you see, the 12th goal is related to the food production, that is responsible consumption and production of food. So this 12th goal is one of the goals under the ESG goals framed for the entire universe by the UN. And India being part of the UN, we are also taking lead in how to achieve those defined targets by 2030. See, what is that 12th goal? Responsible consumption and production. It is about ensuring sustainable consumption. See, sustainable, we all know, which can be maintained over a long period of time. So as of now, we foresee that the current pattern of consumption and production cannot be sustained over a long period of time. So in that sense, the goal 12 emphasizes on ensuring sustainable consumption and production patterns for the food, which will be a key to sustain the livelihoods of current and future generations. We all know without food, the human being cannot survive. So for the future generation to have the livelihood, this becomes very, very important to have a sustainable consumption production pattern. And the unsustainable patterns of consumption is leading to the triple effect of climate change, biodiversity loss, and pollution. I'll explain you in the subsequent slide how it is creating that problem. And these crises threaten human well-being and achievement of sustainable development goals. So unless we do some changes in the way we produce food, or how you consume food, or how you store food, this is going to be a threatening feature for the sustainable development goal. So government and all citizens should work together to improve the resource efficiency, reduce waste and pollution, and shape a new circular economy. Circular economy is a new word which is used in the last decade, that nothing should be waste, everything should be reused. So that's a circular economy in brief. Another data shows in 2020, the 13.3% of world's food was lost after harvesting and before reaching the retail market. See, 13% of the production is just like that, harvested and wasted. It is not reaching to the end user. And another 17% of the food available to consumer is wasted at household and retail level. So if you are producing 100 kg, only 70 kg is used properly. Balance 30 kg is lost, 13 kg is lost before it reaches the retail, and another 17% is lost at the household level or at the retail level, that is at the hotels or wherever it is sold, and it is wasted. And the food that ends in landfill generates 8 to 10% of global greenhouse gas emission. We don't know the seriousness of the wastage of food happening in the society. We can always observe the wastage of society. If you go to a big hotel, you'll see a lot of wastage. If you go to a wedding function, you'll see a lot of wastage. But we don't understand the side effects of those wastage happening in the environment. 8 to 10% of the global greenhouse gas emissions are coming from the food that ends in landfills, which is a very important thing to take note of it and address that problem. So the goal 12 target, what the target is, implement the 10-year framework of programs on sustainable consumption and production. And by 2030, achieve the sustainable management and efficient use of natural resources. It may be water, mainly water, and it also the other, the food produce or the power what you use in the food production, all those are coming under the natural resources. And by 2030, we have to reduce the wastage by 50%. So that is, these are some of the targets taken under the goal 12 of the ESG program. And by 2030, we also want to achieve an environmentally sound management of chemicals. We all know the chemicals what we use for the agriculture purpose are having ill effect on the environment. So that they want to mitigate, and we want to ensure that throughout their life cycle, it is not affecting any of the environment when it is released to air, water, and soil, which will impact the human health and environment. So this is also one of the major initiatives taken on the chemical front. And by 2030, to reduce the waste, it will be a three-pronged approach. One is the prevention of wastage, then reduction of wastage, and recycling and reuse of the wastage. So in this three-pronged approach, we'll be reducing the food wastage by 2030. See, these unsustainable patterns of food production, what is they are causing the triple effect. One is the climate change, that is, it starts pollution. Then biodiversity loss is happening, depletion of the natural resources. Then it leads to the climate change because of the greenhouse gas emission. So definitely, this is an area of concern, which we cannot take it lightly, and we have to focus on this elimination of the unsustainable practices happening in the food production. See, in every country, every day, as I told you earlier, 13.3% of food is getting wasted. And 17% of the total food is wasted at the consumer level, which I told at the house, at the grocery store, at the restaurant. We see a lot of wastage happening for the food. And 13% before it getting processed itself, it is getting wasted. So this is also a big waste, which we are, how to overcome, I'll be showing in the coming slides. And if you see, our dependence on the natural resources keeping on increasing year on year. From 2000 to 2019 years, 65% it has increased. So we cannot keep on depleting the natural resources. Any action will have a side effect. So when we are depleting the natural resources, it is leading to global warming. It is leading to shortage of availability of food. So a lot of multiple effects are happening in the food chain. So that's what why is sustainability. Food sustainability means producing food in a way that protects the environment. So wherever it is detrimental to the environment, we should avoid those practices in the food production, making efficient use of the natural resources, and ensure that farmers can support themselves instead of depending on the another agency for their livelihood, where the farmers can be self-sufficient in their own area, and enhance the quality of life in communities that produce food, including the animals as well as the people. So unless we focus on these areas, we will not be able to achieve the sustainability in food production. So we will be focusing on all these areas to achieve the sustainability in food production through adoption of proper technologies. And one more thing, by reducing the consumption of animal-based foods by 50%, it will also help us to have a sustainable food chain. And because of reduction of 50% of animal-based foods, the global emission of greenhouse gas would fall by 64% by 2050. So this is also another initiative taken at the global level to reduce the consumption of animal-based foods, because that will prevent deforestation by dedicating less land for livestock. If there is more livestock, then it leads to deforestation. So that is also one of the area where we will be focusing to achieve the sustainable production food chain. Here is another data. It is in the weight of production. Here, if you see dairy products, 26% of dairy products are getting wasted. And in case of fruits and vegetables, 42% of the production is getting wasted. And in grains, 19%, and other food items, 13%. See how alarming the percentages are. 42% in fruits and vegetables. The farmer, they tirelessly work day and night, and ultimately they are wasting 42% of the produce. Similarly, in the dairy, 26% is getting wasted. So these are all very, very alarming figures, and which needs to be focused and controlled to have a sustainability. And coming to Indian food industry, the lack of supply chain infrastructure itself is a big challenge, because the agriculture infrastructure and institution of India are very underdeveloped, and the unequal distribution of land resources, and it leads to low productivity due to low diversification. So these are the challenges for the Indian food industry. And what is a smart supply chain to avoid the wastages what we saw in the previous slides, the 30% of wastage happening. See, there are 3 blocks. One is the production block, that is where the real agriculture is happening. Then next one is the distribution processing. Third one is the consumption. Unless there is a seamless integration of all the 3 blocks through technology, the demand versus supply will be a problem. Same time, the oversupply sometimes will lead to oversupply and leading to the drop in prices or the wastage of the produce happening at the retail level. You would all seen in newspapers, sometimes we see the tomato price shooting up and sometimes falling drastically, and farmers are just like that. They are just dumping on the land. Why this is happening means there is no integration between the end user, that is the consumption, and the production, that is the farm. This is one of the major bottlenecks in the Indian supply chain, which needs a lot of technology to be integrated. The IoT, the data processing, the artificial intelligence, all those technologies can be incorporated in the supply chain, so that there is a very, very clear communication flow between all the 3 blocks, leading to a very leveled supply, demand versus supply, leading to almost negligent wastage of food happening in the system. So a sustainable food system is one that which is secure, reliable, and resilient to change. So we should develop a food system which is secure, reliable, and resilient to change. Then accessible and affordable to all members of society. These are all very important things we should understand. So a sustainable food system should be accessible and affordable to all members of society, energy efficient. It is an economic generator for farmers, whole communities and region. So when the agriculture is doing well, it should reflect into the economically the farmers should be improving their standards of living, and not only the farmers, the entire communities in that region. It should be safe, healthy and safe, and environmentally beneficial, and use creative water reclamation and conservation strategies for agriculture irrigation.
Thank you, Mr. Dinesh.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for showing the statistical information to us. It was informative and thought-provoking. We are expecting the big changes from small steps with the civilians. Thank you, sir. Now I hand over the session to Dr. Radhakrishnan and begin the panel discussion. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so we are going to have a panel discussion, and the topic for the panel discussion is the barriers to technology adoption for agro industries. And we are going to have, in addition to Mr. Dinesh, we are going to have two other participants from the industry and academics. I would like to introduce both those participants. And after the panel discussion, we will be having a lecture delivered by Dr. Uma, one of those two participants. I just want to start with the introduction of those two participants now. The first one is Professor Sivakumar. He is a management plus academician with more than 25 years of experience in mainly teaching, research-oriented activities, consulting, and academic administration. Professor Sivakumar did his bachelor's and master's at Tamil Nadu Agricultural University, Coimbatore, and his master's degree was in agri-business management with a thesis in the marketing area. His doctoral thesis was on cashew export marketing. He has done numerous consulting assignments in agri-business for companies like Mexico. In addition, he has taught at NIIM Jaipur as a visiting faculty and taught courses such as agricultural input marketing and international marketing. He had teaching assignments at Oakland University, USA as a visiting professor on an exchange program. In addition to that, he had taught courses as part of the faculty and executive program at IIM Bangalore, IIM Vizag, IIM Kozhikode, and Manage Hyderabad. He started his career with a brief stint in mushroom production in 100% EOU, and then after post-graduation served for a little over 2 years as a farm superintendent, managing a 100-acre research farm before joining academics. Professor Sivakumar has won, two of his cases have won prizes in global case competitions as well. Thank you, Professor Sivakumar, for being with us.
Thank you so much for inviting me. Are you able to hear me clearly?
Thank you. Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I'm going to introduce the next speaker, Dr. Uma P. Dr. Uma P is the founder of Unique Research and Consultancy Services and the former director of MBA department and Autonomous College in Madurai. She holds a civil engineering degree, a MBA degree from Madurai Kamaraj University, and a doctorate from Gandhigram Rural Institute. She has 2 decades of entrepreneurship training and business research experience. Dr. Uma's expertise is entrepreneurship, and her research focuses on the leadership, total quality management, and entrepreneurship. Uma's first book, Total Quality Management in Small and Medium Enterprises, has been used as an appraisal tool for SMEs in Tamil Nadu. Her second book, The Map to Your Entrepreneurial Journey, was used as a training material for 17 entrepreneurship programs. She has also guided 6 PhD scholars. Dr. Uma has done 20 research projects for MSMEs and has currently launched ICT-enabled international conference on trends and innovations in management and entrepreneurship. She has completed 7 e-conferences focusing on sustainability. I thank Dr. Uma for being with us. And now I would like to hand this over to Dr. Shakti for initiating the panel discussion.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So first of all, welcome you all for this panel discussion. So now we are going to discuss what are the barriers plays a vital role in adopting the technology in Indian agro industries and how we are going to overcome it. So I request the panel members to give their expertise on this concept. I request, sir. Sivakumar, sir, can you share some insights on that?
Yeah. When we talk of technology, I think two major, dimensions come to my mind when we are talking of technology adoption. One is the economics of technology, which means how, cost effective or, how expensive is the technology. That's one aspect of it, which is the economics part of it. The second part, which I feel is important in terms of having an influence on technology adoption, is education. Like how much is the, for example, the person who is going to use the technology aware of the technology and is educated about the technology. I think these two are two major barriers when you are trying to look at technology use. Because if economics don't work out, then obviously technology will not be, kind of adopted. And if there is not enough of awareness and education about the use of technology, that's also something that will have an impact on, technology adoption. So any, organization which wants to introduce technology in agriculture would therefore have to concentrate on these two aspects in order to really be successful in technology introduction. Just to give you an example, I think now drones are being used as a technology in agriculture, right? Many of the drones are actually being imported, and if you're going to use drones for, use in agriculture, specific permissions are required, and then you should also look at, let's say, for example, if it's spraying of pesticide and all of that, what's going to be the capacity of that drone in terms of carrying it, and would it be better than the existing spraying technology in terms of the cost of spraying per acre, etc. That would become important. That's number one. And number two, if you are expecting that the farmer is going to operate this, then obviously education is important. Even otherwise, I think for somebody to operate it in a field where you would have to spray pesticides, first of all, drone technology is new. Second, its use in agriculture, it's also something that is new. Therefore, one should be able to really work on this aspect, much more specifically, in order to gain expertise. And that's where I feel, both economics and education, these two are things that one needs to work on for better adoption of technology. And I think probably Dr. Uma can add more to this.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. In Western countries, we can see that agriculture, that farmers' knowledge, and they are using the technology in their field, farm. But in Indian scenario, it's entirely different. So we have to adapt those things. Right? So I request now Dr. Uma for giving some insights on that.
Yes, technologies, as Dinesh was already mentioning, supply is more and the demand is less. So many commodities are wasted by the farmers. That's what he was mentioning. And it was really nice to hear from CAE chairman of Madurai chapter and his concern over farmers. And thank you, Dr. Shivakumar, about technologies. You were telling about how best we can use the technologies. And I would like to stress or emphasize that without technology, agripreneurship is not possible. Because as it was rightly told, when supply is more and the demand is less, farmers cannot even proceed with their farming activity. So I am currently focusing on smart farming. My researchers are focused on smart farming, where technologies are given more importance, and it is in 3 stages: pre-harvesting stage, harvesting stage, as well as post-harvesting stage. Now the question is whether it is affordable by all the farmers to use the technology because of the cost of it and also know-how part. So it is for that we are suggesting 2 things. One is farmer producer companies. Okay, it should become an enterprise where all the small farmers can gather together, come together, and they can establish a company or enterprise kind of thing. And in that case, they can invest small amount, and the overall it will be a huge amount. They can afford a technology, any technology for that matter. I will go into detail about that later. So any technology, whether it is a drone technology or sensor technology or mechanizing the processing part or cold storage. So in all the phases, it is possible to make it affordable through the formation of FPC, that is farmer producer company. That is one thing. Or they can remain unorganized, but collective farming, like Japan, they are doing that. Okay, collective farming wherein small farmers, they come together, about 100 farmers or even 500 farmers in that locality, and they produce, like they almost function like a company or a corporate. Okay, so technology becomes more affordable by an individual farmer. So this way we can also increase the demand for the product from the consumer side, and the supply can also be equally matched for the demand. So once the demand and supply equation is managed, I think any farmer, even from a small farmer to a big farmer, landlords, they can easily manage their profitability, because without profit they cannot survive and they cannot grow. So this is what now we are insisting when it comes to smart farming. So smart farming is, simply speaking, it is collective farming or through an organized FPC, that is farmer producer company, and and using a lot of technologies in all the 3 stages: before harvesting, while harvesting, and also post harvesting. This way they can also produce a quality commodity which is universally accepted without any chemical. That is more important. Okay, toxic elements in the commodity should be avoided. So even natural farming or organic farming, already you might have all heard about this. Chemical should be reduced in terms of manure, or in terms of preservatives, or in terms of packaging, or in any form. So that is all possible with the technological usage and smart farming. So this is what we call as agripreneurship. Agriculture, any agriculturist is basically an entrepreneur for me, because they have a land, they have assets, they invest. Okay, they do have productivity, so they look for profit, which means they're all entrepreneurs. So the mindset, the difference between agriculture and agripreneurship is simply the mindset. Any farmer can access technology. So money is not the matter. Finance can be sourced. Government is giving a lot of schemes, so that can be taken as a support. And
Okay,
NGO also plays a vital role in creating an awareness among farmers and making them agripreneurs.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much for your insights. And then now I would welcome Mr. Dinesh for his contribution. Please share something for 2 minutes.
And thank you to Uma Madam for her nice words. And already the points, whatever Dr. Shivkumar and Dr. Uma shared, I'm also in sync with that, starting with that, the education, awareness, then the collective farming. So these are the things which we need to really take it forward so that the technology is implemented full in agriculture. Mostly now agriculture is in an unorganized sector. It should be brought like an industry, agriculture industry, where there are some measurables are there, and every year they're trying to improve that measurables are happening. And seeing is believing. See, in our country, the farmers are under different backgrounds. Some are having a very large scale of land. Some people have very small land. Some people are underprivileged in the society. Some are having the influence in the society. What I feel, see, the technology is available, but the reach to the individual farmer, still there is a gap. I fully appreciate government is taking a lot of steps in training them, communicating them, and giving a lot of subsidies, but still the impact is not fully felt on the ground. I feel one of the things is seeing is believing. For an example, wherever possible, the government should have their own model farming where they can implement the new technologies. Maybe it may be IoT of things, or this drone, or several new technologies has come to preserve the soil, to preserve water, to get higher yield and all. That if they are able to demonstrate in a particular area, then the uneducated agriculturist can see it. Then there should be a very clear, a single window where he can approach with this requirement and get it resolved. So these are some of the thoughts coming to me after hearing from Dr. Shivakumar and Uma. And as a layman also, I'm seeing that in all the villages, the agriculture still, though we say we worship the agriculturist, really the respect to the agriculturist has not come in the country in full swing. That's my humble submission to this panel.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. We had a very good interaction. And also, I would like to give you another one. I want to check whether the government, what is based on your perception, based on your expectation, in what way the government can support to adopt the technology in Indian agriculture? In what way they can contribute?
See, I feel, say it may be a mechanized harvesting or mechanized planting. Now, we see in the villages, somebody is holding that equipment, and the small villages are going to him, and sometimes because of the cost, they are not able to use that facility. Instead of government can provide the technology, still we come to a certain level. See, it's like giving a hand holding to the agriculturist by providing the latest technology, and it should be area specific or crop specific to a particular area, so that it gets a real appeal and connect to the individual farmer. So the government should provide technology free of cost, at least to some period, maybe next 1 decade, providing a lot of technology to the farmers who don't have the affordability to purchase or access to the technologies. In that way, this can be percolated much faster, the new technology what we are seeing. In China, I used to hear that this type of cooperative farming is very successful, and government gives a lot of information about what to plant, when to plant, where to sell, how to sell. So these are the things which the government should come in much bigger way. It will take some time, but unless we do this right now, the agriculture may not be a very, very interesting area for the agriculture to be in the same line for a long period.
Okay. So, Dr. Shivakumar, sir, can you give some point on this?
Yeah, having studied agriculture and having known how is it that government works in this particular area. See, we have a extension department which is part of the agriculture department. So the system that has been there for several decades now is what is called as the training and visit system. Okay, the first job that most of the agriculture officers do at the ground level, when you're talking of at the field level, is provide training to the farmers at different levels. Okay, training can happen at a farmers training center. It can also happen at regional research stations of agriculture universities. It can also happen at the, joint director of agriculture office level, at that level. So at the first level, there is training that happens. And the second level, there are also assistant agriculture officers and agriculture officers who actually visit farms. So it is called the training and visit system. And farmers can get advice from these agriculture and assistant agriculture officers at the field level. So that they need not spend time and effort to actually go with a plant or with a problem with their technology in order to get the solutions. What I feel is a problem in terms of technology adoption is at a different level, because if you are to differentiate technology as embedded technology, just like what you see in engineering, embedded technology versus technology that is there outside. Let's say, for example, a drone or a new kind of a tractor or something that is different, which you can see outside. Probably the nature of adoption becomes a bit more easier because everything is something that is visible. But when you're talking of embedded technology, let's say, for example, you're introducing a new genetically modified seed. Okay, now for the farmer to accept this, there is a big lack of trust, because there's a lot of information going around which says, genetically modified, seeds are not good, nutrition, there's a problem, your health will, get affected if you actually consume something which is produced out of it and things like that. Now, what happens is when you have this kind of information floating around in, news channels and different kinds of media, then what happens is, even though the government tries to actually say that we have done all these tests, there is a big committee, it has passed through all of this, and only then finally this is being released, etc. There's still a big lack of trust among farmers in terms of accepting this technology. So therefore, in terms of technology adoption, we should also look at what kind of technology we are trying to look at, and that is where probably we have to see whether government has been efficient or not in terms of changing farmers minds towards technology adoption.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So due to the time constraint, we cannot extend this interesting discussion. So we got some insights from this discussion. So now I thank the panel members to give their insights on that particular domain. So now I request Dr. Bala to take over.
Thank you, the panel members, for sharing wonderful tips. That was really useful to all of us. Now I hand over the session to Dr. P. Uma to deliver her speech.
So, having listened to Dr. Shivakumar, and he's an expert in agricultural field. He's basically an BSc Agri graduate and then MBA, and doing a lot of researchers in the area, in smart farming area, and also CAE chapter of Madurai. Mr. Dr. Dinesh, he has also thrown light on how important it is to look at agriculture as an enterprise or an organized sector, and how best government, NGO, and others, other affiliates can support agriculture. Now, let me explain why we speak about all this. So long, all these years, agriculture is there, and they are cultivating, and there is production, and we get, as consumers, we are getting. Why we all think about. I think it is after pandemic period, everybody has become so conscious about our health, wealth, okay, and what we are eating. Whether it is even before that, organic farming and other things were there. But now we are all more conscious about, what it contains, what we are eating. The awareness of consumer is the awareness of food products, agro-based industries has increased considerably after the pandemic and during the pandemic period. And after this period, and this year being International Year of Millets, 2023. Everybody is talking about what we are supposed to consume, okay, right from small kid to elderly ones. Okay, so we should be very careful about the very farming activities and also the output, right? So this is where probably everybody thinks about smart farming supply, demand, and what it contains, and technologies to increase the demand and to increase the supply, and also to improve the quality of the output, agricultural output. And beyond all this, already G20, we are all talking about one earth, right? One family, one future, right? Without agriculture, the very sustainability is a big question, right? And not only sustainability, climate change. Okay, the sustainability and climate change, quality of our life, everything revolves around agriculture. And so we are all talking about today about agriculture. And to improve agriculture and the way it is done, we talk about agripreneurship, technologies that support agripreneurship. So here I would also tell about this AI, that is artificial intelligence. In all the sectors, it has got an impact. And in agriculture also, it has got an impact. Okay, like sensor system, we source sensor and drone system for pre-harvesting period. That is, we test the soil, okay, whether the soil is okay, whether the fertility is okay, or what we are supposed to add, okay, and the compositions of the soil, that is tested. And government, of course, they give a lot of subsidy for the farmer producer companies, and also for collective farming and individual farmers. So a lot of credit is allotted, a lot of subsidies allotted, a lot of programs are organized to make them aware of what it is, so that when the pre-harvesting stage, when the soil preparation is good, when the seed is good, as Dinesh was already telling, when the seed is genetically modified, and if it is if fertilizer manure part is taken care, then almost the harvesting is done without much trouble or without much uncertainty. So, and the rainfall, we can even predict rainfall through all these sensor and other technologies. So this artificial intelligence is being used, big data is also being used, okay, throughout the world, where what crop is being produced, and where it is produced, and where it is supplied, okay, the consumption in which country. Sitting here in Madurai, I can definitely predict what is the demand for red rice, what is the demand for bajra, what is the demand for each and every commodity. Okay, so this is mainly supported by big data and mainly supported by AI, artificial intelligence. So seeing the demand, we can go for cultivating those things, or after cultivation, we can also store. Still the demand is raised, so storage facility and other things. So this is totally supported by separate app. Agriculture app is available. Okay, separate app is available. E-commerce is done using that agriculture app. So this is the awareness of it. Of course, as Dr. Shivakumar was already telling, whether farmers are aware of it, that is doubtful, because in rural area, not many are aware, but not like before. Definitely every farmer is now aware of all these technologies that are being told by us. And agricultural officers, and there are field inspectors, they go to the area, they go to the rural area, they tell them what it is, right? And so they're also using it. Only problem is that collective farming and making it possible. That collective farming, once it is made possible, then all that we are speaking about become feasible, right? That is, every farmer should know that they can also use it. Even if I have 5 acres of land, yes, I can use all that by gathering other farmers, and all the farmers can come together, and they can still go for all these technologies. I mean, including this AI, artificial intelligence. And labor problem, of course, now we do have labor issues. When it comes to labor issues, the technology definitely support us. So when we say labor issue, what we mean is the next generation may not do all the activities that were done by the previous generation. Okay, ploughing was done with the ox, and the manual ploughing was done. Now the next generation, we don't get people at all. So we need to go for definitely tractor, and then even for sowing, we have equipments attached to tractor, and that is being done. And processing, those days, around 10, 20 people, what they were doing with the processing, that is segregating the grain from the plant. That is not done by manually these days. Okay, now we are mechanizing everything. So the processing is done manually. And then storage was done at home. Okay, you might have seen, I don't know how many of you would have seen, the very construction of storing commodity was very different. Okay, that is it is totally airtight construction. But now we are moving all that to cold storage, where the commodities are stored and numbers were given, right? And they have app. I mean artificial intelligence, and they have big data. So it is connecting all over the world. Okay, where there is a demand. Okay, so from Madurai we can supply to any place. From Coimbatore they can supply coconut to even Sri Lanka or Australia or US, UK, any place. Okay, so it is possible. Now the question is not about exporting and then doing it in a big way, but becoming self-sufficient even to our own country. Okay, to everybody, whether we are able to supply the toxic-free commodity, toxic-free agricultural product. So that is mainly supported by this big data. That is supported with all AI technologies. So these are all the things which are required for sustainability. As Dr. Dinesh was already telling, there are 19 goals of UN. Okay, so in that 19 goals, 19 or 7, I think it is 19. So we have unemployment, we have education, we have rural development. No, it's a long list. So this agriculture definitely has got its own place, and it is the base. India being the rural India, the agriculture is the backbone. Rural area is the backbone of India's overall development. So naturally, sustainability is possible only with agricultural development. So there is a chance for many farmers to leave their occupation. Of course, it is a respectable occupation, but still, if there is a questionable profit, then there is a chance for agriculture to leave the profession and then go for some other profession. So we should, before that, we'll have to become more and more alert, and we should definitely make agriculture profitable and they sustain. If agriculture sustains, the other occupations which are depending on that, agro-based industries, which means textile, jute related products, all eatables, okay, whatever that the very survival, very basic needs, and also the desires, okay, the hotel industry, ecotourism, okay, then even the retails, malls, whatever we speak about. So everything revolves around agriculture. It is all dependent. Okay, only if agriculture grows, other industries can grow, and all engineering industries which are depending on agriculture or supplying to agriculture. So everything can survive, like it is a supply chain management. Okay, supply chain means they produce and then they give it to, either it is B2B or it is B2C. Okay, so only if the agriculture base is improved, then the other industries which are depending on agriculture can also survive. So this is what the base sustainability is all about. Only if sustainability is ensured, then we can talk about climate change, natural. Okay, if suppose agriculture is good enough, then naturally the climate change can also be ensured, and our quality of life can also improve. So this is what I wanted to give more emphasis, and all this quality of agriculture can be improved only with technology, and mass production can happen, and cost of production will come down. Once we go for mass production, that is collective farming. Collectively, we come together and we decide what is the demand for each and every product, what is the supply, and we decide what to cultivate. Okay, so the supply and demand equation is balanced. Okay, so it is thoughtful agriculture. It is not just like that I'm cultivating something and then I start with production and then end up with marketing. No, it starts from the consumer and then we end up with the production like any other sector. In any other sector, this is the modern marketing, modern business, right? We start with the consumer, what do they demand, and then we go down. Okay, so to the agriculture. So it is very important. So I think I'm making it clear to everybody. So any questions?
Thank you, Dr. Uma. Now the session is open for the participants to pose any questions to the panel experts.
Dr. Uma, as part of the panel discussion, you were mentioning something about bringing in awareness. So the awareness, how could we implement an effective awareness session or things for people at the grassroots level? Because many of the farmers who are in the rural areas, how do we reach out to them? How do we reach out to them? What do you think would be the most effective channels for that?
Yes, that is where NGOs play a vital role and government organizations play a vital role. Now I'll also come to how academicians and academic institutions can also extend help and support. Now, there are a lot of schemes available already with the government. Whether we are aware of it, agriculturists aware of it, that is a big question. So we'll have to take all the schemes to the rural place. So already there are agricultural officers are available, inspectors are available. They go to the rural area and they create awareness. When it comes to creating awareness about agricultural things, we'll have to go to their place. They may not come to our place. So it is going to their place and then creating what are all the schemes that are available and how best they can make use of those schemes, government schemes, not only subsidies, even technology. Government has got cold storage. Government has got dryers. I mean, a value addition for the agricultural commodities. All the technologies which are supporting value addition. That is, if suppose you take groundnut, then groundnut oil is the value addition. Okay, so they have equipment for that. Or any commodity you say, like for example, coconut in Coimbatore area. So what is value addition? That grating of that coconut and then the shell also been used for many artistic purpose. So all these technologies are extended, supported by the government. Only thing is agricultural awareness need to be, or the very knowledge, know-how need to be taken to their area. Okay, so it is all already done. And not non-governmental organization, how they are playing their role, or I'm also part of that. So government, they cannot cater to each and every individual. That is not possible. They have their own limits. Okay, so what we do, we get the funding from the government and then reach to the rural places. Okay, not only rural places, even in urban places, if suppose there are a few like terrace gardening, the backyard gardening, poultry farms, the allied activities. For that, of course, even in urban area, there is an extension area of urban places. So NGOs take that schemes to those needy or to those who are actually in need of it. So this is all already existing and we are doing it. Now, being academic institution, because now I think I'm reaching to the students also. So how academic institution can add value to all these things, all these activities. So already we have extension research. I think in NAC and NBA accreditation, that is one dimension. And though it is a last dimension, it is not the least dimension, I should say that. So the extension and outreach activity, already in agricultural colleges, universities, they have, but their part is with the technical aspect. But when it comes to MBA, we can make it a business and profitable one. So they can help them, support them in marketing. They can even go to them and conduct small training programs possible. Okay, and they can also come out with a project, a proposal, and we can submit a proposal and further funding can be got from the government and they can be taken to the farmers, and that would be a great help. So instead of doing extension for the sake of it, we should have some purpose in it, right? When we do a rural visit, school children can go and do the cleaning work and other small work. I think when it comes to MBA students, management institution, they can add value by making agriculture and agripreneurship, as I was already telling. So there is a lot of scope. Not only when we say extension and outreach, it is not only that we are supporting them, it is a mutually beneficial thing. That is, we do learn a lot of things from them. Okay, we can tell them how different natural farming is from organic farming, how different organic farming is from smart farming, right? That is next step actually. When we say smart farming, it is the next step. So I think this kind of panel discussion and this very session can become a great awareness for the students and also for all of us, for the academicians, to take agriculture as a priority and do some extension activity in those areas. And we can have tie-up MOUs can be signed with NGOs, and we can do that activity, or independently we can do the activity. So that we need to explore and proceed. And I think this is a great opportunity to speak to socially responsible institution like Amrita Institute of Management, and sharing all our viewpoints. I'm so happy that today I get a chance to, or opportunity to interact with everybody here. And any help or support in this regard, I won't even call it help or support. It is mutually beneficial. All of us are benefited in the process. So we are here to support you, or you can also extend your thing, and mutually we can share, and it is a knowledge sharing. Okay, and we can create even technically speaking, we can also go for creating an app for AI, knowledge management and big data and things like that, or we can use something that is already existing and take it to the field. So I think I have answered.
For the wonderful insights, ma'am. Thank you everyone for your wonderful support. I'd like to thank Dr. Nava, Dean School of Business, Amrita School of Business, Coimbatore campus, who joined us for a short while, and she couldn't prolong so long because of her technical glitches. Thank you, Dr. Nava, for proposing this panel discussion idea in C20. And thank you all the panel experts. Thank you for the moderators also to run this session successfully. I also thank the technical team of C20 who's behind this panel discussion. Thank you everyone. Thank you everyone for the support. Let's end the session. Thank you.
Thank you so much.